All right, welcome to SE300. Let's get this show on the road. This module covers the introductory information that you need to know about the course. It's basically the first lecture of class if we were having face-to-face lectures. Before we get started, things you need to know right off the bat. Yes, we'll have live Zoom lectures. You are not required to attend. They will be recorded and posted on Canvas so you can watch them after the fact. They largely repeat what is said in these pre-recorded lectures, but of course we get the advantage of student questions in real time. The timing will be determined to complete the survey. Based on survey results, we'll have lectures Mondays 3 to 5, and then Wednesday 3 to 5 will be office hours. And Monday 3 to 5 lectures probably won't go the full 2 hours, but I wanted to reserve 2 hours just in case. The course is centered around a team software project. So in CS225 you did an individual software project. Now you're going to use those same skills, the Agile, Scrum process, but do it in a team setting, which is really where it was designed to be used. I am going to make the teams. I'm not flexible about that. You get to choose your team topics, so there's flexibility there. And you also get to choose how your team meets and interacts as long as you're following the Agile process, so we have flexibility there. You're expected to meet with your team often. That's part of the Agile Scrum process. And that doesn't mean you have big long meetings every day. The idea is you have these little short 15-minute meetings every day, and then you have longer meetings every couple of weeks. We will talk a bit about how to make good teams, what to do if a team member isn't pulling their weight, how to try to ensure good communication among the teams. Good teams have good interaction. That means a good project, good grades. Bad teams have bad interaction, poor project result, poor grades. Your grade is weighted based on our perception of your participation in the team. So we give a team grade for the artifact, but then we'll weight it based on what we see as your participation. Now, who's we? Oh, that's me and the TAs. That's who we are. There's no text required for the course. There's no lab in this course. All the materials are free. You can find them online, or we will supply them to you. My instructor contact information, use Canvas messaging. Anything for this course, use Canvas messaging. If you email me about this course, my response will normally be, ask me in Canvas. If you need to get in touch with me about something else not related to this course, of course, use my email. That's posted in different places on this website, and of course you can always find me in the address book on Microsoft Outlook. Just in case, it's garfielk@erau.edu. Okay, what do you learn in this module? You're learning about the course. This basically is the first day of class if we were having face-to-face lectures. We'll talk about the course themes, how the course components are delivered to you, what you need to deliver to me, identify the outcomes listed on the syllabus, talk about the grading, which students seem unusually interested in, how to determine your final course grade from the points, very straightforward. There's 1,000 points in the course, 90% is an A, 80% is a B, and on down the list. And then estimate time commitment to do well in the course. All right, the major themes. The different topics fall under these major categories of basically software engineering discipline. Engineering is a discipline. So software engineering has some aspects to it that are different from the kind of engineering that deals with physical products. So we'll talk about the definition of software engineering, the inherent complexities, different life cycle models. Life cycle models are basically, if you think of software as a product, then that product has a life cycle. It has an initial vision, a design, a build, a test, a deployment, a maintenance. And there's different life cycle models that have been proposed and used over the years. We'll talk about also some industry standards and ethics. The next major theme is software design processes. How do you do the job? Well, a lot of this has to do with software requirements. So we're going to talk a fair amount about requirements elicitation. Elicitation means how do you determine or elicit what the requirements are. And then requirement specification. Once you know what the requirements are, how do you write them down in such a way that they are testable, that they're measurable. And we'll talk about software design documentation and one form of that, unified modeling language. Those of you in the software engineering program will go on to other courses where you dig deeper into the unified modeling language. And the third is software verification and validation. This basically amounts to different kinds of ways to determine that your software is any good. Some of it is static, like looking at the code, literally looking at the code with other people and walking through it. And the most common form that people are familiar with is testing, different forms of testing. And then we'll also talk about ways that you can measure how good and bad your software is, or at least different ways people have proposed. There's analysis that can be performed on your software. There are metrics that we can apply to it. How complex is it? How easy is it to maintain? How ugly is it? Those kinds of things. Of course, we're going to deliver everything on Canvas. This is a completely online course, and I've divided the course up into modules. Each module has online notes, a recorded video, a live video, I should say a recording of the live video, and a quiz. I'll also open up discussion pages. There's going to be a couple of those. One is a catch-all. Any question you have about the course will go into this discussion page. And then we'll have discussion pages for each team. So once we have our population finalized after the add drop period, I'll break you guys up into teams. I'll create discussion groups for each team, and you can use that discussion group as a channel of communication within your team. You do not have to use that exclusively, but it's a nice place for me to see what's going on in the team. So that's a good starting point. What do you have to do in the course? Well, the expectation is you check in with Canvas every day, or if you're like me, you'll get email notices when something happens on Canvas. Check your email or Canvas every day. I'll check email or Canvas every day. For each module, review the material on Canvas, take the quiz. They're short quizzes. They're basically, hey, have you even read this stuff? We'll have 8 assignments in addition to the project. So the 8 assignments are standalone. They're not related to the project. They're related to software discipline. They're related to ethics. They're related to design techniques. And then you work as a team to complete the project where you incorporate those things into your project. We will use Agile Scrum development method. That process has artifacts. By artifacts, I mean documents that you write and work with and deliver. And so you're going to use Agile Scrum, but you're also, but part of that is to create some relatively light documents. Some of the heavier documents that you'll develop are software design documents, requirement specification, test plan. And then the other thing is meet. I'm going to say this a lot because that's kind of critical to the Agile Scrum method. Now, what does that mean a lot? You may meet every day. You might meet 3 times a week. You might meet twice a week. Your team will find out what works for you. Part of Agile Scrum is you're constantly looking at how the team interacts, and if something isn't working, you change it. So if you're meeting twice a week and that's not working, then your team makes the decision to meet 4 times a week or something like that. Now these meetings, again, tend to be short. The goal is to have a short meeting every day as a check-in, not to bog you down with big, long, useless meetings. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the syllabus overview because it's available to you. Normally, we have, I should say, the old normal is we would have a paper syllabus or something in Microsoft Word. And the university is going to something called Simple Syllabus. So this is the first time I've used Simple Syllabus. It's on Canvas, and I've edited and published the syllabus on Canvas. If you can't find it, by all means, let me know. So everything about the details of the course should be on the syllabus. No text is required. The outcomes are listed on the syllabus, the topics are listed on the syllabus, and of course I'm reminding you of the 3 teams: software engineering discipline, design processes, verification, and validation. Grading, really straightforward. 1,000 points in the course. Each quiz is worth 10 points. There's 10 quizzes, so there's 100 points. Again, these are easy quizzes, so that's 10% of your grade that's just there for the picking. It's easy money. 450 points for the assignments and 450 points for the project work. And then I will offer up to 50 points of extra credit. Now, I may offer, say, 75 points of extra credit. I will apply at most 50 points, which is half a letter grade. And add all that up, count your points, and if you have 900 or more, you get an A. If you have between 800 and 899, you get a B. 700, 799 is a C, and so on. Here's the first draft of the schedule. I won't go into too much detail other than if you look at project activities, if you look, the first 4 weeks are all about forming the teams, introducing the project ideas, introducing the agile process. And then the remaining weeks are broken up into what we call sprints. And a sprint is a short-term activity where you're working on the project. There's 5 sprints in the semester. At the end of each sprint, you'll have some progress made on your project, and you get to define what that progress is at the beginning of the sprint. So the first 4 weeks are about preparation for the project, and then the next 10 weeks are the actual doing the project, and then the last week and a half or so are wrapping things up in project demonstration. Along the way, we'll be introducing these different topics. How do you do agile? How do you do software design? What software configuration tools are out there? How do you use them? How do you do quality assurance? And those get folded into your project, and hopefully I've timed them out in such a way that you have the material that you need at the time they're relevant to your project. And this is the second half of the semester. We only get the 1 day off, the April 7th. As you know, due to the pandemic, the university is getting rid of long breaks like spring break, where you go somewhere, get sick, and then come back to campus. This schedule almost certainly will change somewhat throughout the semester. Okay, live lectures, yeah, we'll have them. The Monday 3 to 5 is the actual lecture. Wednesday 3 to 5 will be office hours. I doubt the Monday lecture will last 2 hours. 2 hours is a long time to sit and listen to me and to ask questions. So, but I did want to reserve that time just in case some of the topics require it. Attendance in the lectures is not required. I cannot, by university rule, require that. I'll store them on YouTube, and then I'll embed them in the recordings of them in the Canvas. The project overview, the idea here is, again, you do a relatively sophisticated project. Now, what is relatively sophisticated? Well, there's 4 people, and you've got a whole semester, so you can do some pretty good stuff here. We'll break up into teams of 4. Like I said, I'll select the teams. We might have to have some teams of 5 just because of the number of people in the course. Right now it's divisible by 4, but that may change. We'll follow the Agile Scrum process. And like I said, the first 4 weeks are about forming things up, and then the next 10 weeks are 5 sprints of 2 weeks each. At the end, you do a project demonstration. We'll talk about that as the semester goes. Obviously in a live setting, you go in front of the class and you present your project, and I'm thinking here maybe we need to do video presentations or something like that. And then your grade should be 45% of the overall, or 450 points total. For the assignments, the main thing here, late assignments are not accepted. We have 2 TAs for this class, which is 1 more than normal, but we also have 48 students in the class, so that's a lot more than normal. And so in order to keep our TAs and graders sane, late assignments are not accepted. That's the late homework policy. They're not accepted. 8 planned homework assignments, that may change. I don't think it will. Everything is going to be assigned and submitted via Canvas. And again, that counts towards 450 points of your grade. In addition to this, to the graders grading your homeworks, their main job is to actually facilitate your work in the project. So I want them to sit in on some of your team meetings. I want them to see how the team interacts. I want them to become like mentors for you, where if the team is having problems, you can look to them as for guidance. We have Luke Crump and Priscilla Carbo. They're both very good. They're both very skilled in software engineering development. They've been involved in some research. So these are good people to have on the course. Okay, and that's all we have. That's all we need to know. Good luck. I think you can have a lot of fun in this class. Most people like this class because the project work they get really involved in. And I'll just try to stay out of your way and let you have fun with the projects.